Hey everybody, welcome back to Fallout Equestria. Again, this will be a 20-minute video because, again, I'm trying to get back in the mood of video making, so let's do it.
Killing its lethal output.
Also,
Still static.
I also gotta find a way to record Log Horizon without those fucking 10 minutes of commercials!
More. My vision was red. I could feel blood trickling down my ears. Grenades were going off inside of my head. I spotted the second broadcaster and lifted the multi-gem magical shotgun, pulling the trigger. Nothing. The damn thing was recharging. In a panic, I fled to the far side of the lab. I pressed myself into the corner, breathing a sigh of relief as the vices crushing my horn and skull vanished. That last yard of space was outside of the danger zone, luckily. I floated up the magical energy rifle, took careful aim and fired. And continued to fire, reloading twice until I finally hit the little fucker. "Should be safe now," I called out. Velvet Remedy entered the lab and began to search as I slumped in the corner and waited for the headache to die down some more. She was wearing her medical boxes again and started gathering supplies from the identical yellow medical boxes on the wall. "So," I gasped. "What exactly were you trying to do down in that auditorium?" Velvet nickered.
"I already got this lecture from Calamity."
She floated bottles and vials out of a medical box, pausing as she lifted out a multi-tubed injector.
"Rage? Why would this be down here? Rage is a zebra-made combat drug."
Cool.
"Not a lecture, Velvet. I want to understand. You scared the hell out of us."
Yes, Calamity said that too. Only a little louder."
I hadn't been present for that particular argument. Calamity had flown ahead of me, rushing back to Velvet and Steelhooves after raiding Fluttershy's office. They had been given plenty of time to argue, too. I had been lost in thought, contemplating the ministry mares, and had managed to get lost in the cubicles. "Please, Velvet," I sighed, fighting to keep my voice gentle, even with the throbbing of my head. I floated out another painkiller syringe and gave myself the shot. Almost immediately, the throbbing dulled to an ignorable level. I worried that I was seriously risking addiction to painkillers. As if to drive home that worry, Velvet Remedy floated out a tin of Mintals from the last medicine cabinet, opening it and flipping it upside down so the pills fell on the floor like heavy snow, and then began to stomp them into powder. She turned to me with an exasperated stare.
"Fluttershy was right there, little Pip. She had stood right at that spot, saying those very words. Right on that stage, Fluttershy had tried to stop the war, stop the bloodshed and the horror that ended up ruining the entire country."
Her voice hitched.
"The entire world."
She turned away from me.
"You wouldn't understand."
Bitch, you crazy!
Alpha Technologies, the sign claimed. The heavy metal door slid back, revealing the most secure laboratories in the Ministry of Arcane Sciences. "Steelhooves!" Velvet Remedy and I dashed inside. Our friend was laying on a circular platform, surrounded by a magical shield. At our entrance, he stood up. I think I even detected a whinny of relief. Velvet stopped just outside the shield, looking it over before asking if he was okay. Clearly, the Alicorn's attack had knocked him unconscious after all, but he'd regained it hours ago. 5.3 hours ago, according to Steelhooves, who had nothing better to do than watch the timekeeper on his visor's EFS count away. Even if his weapons could disable the shields, the explosions would have torn him apart in that confined space. Not even Steelhooves could survive dismemberment. I found the terminal which controlled the magical field, and began to trick my way through the security system. Soon, I was looking at the control system for the lab's several layers of security, as well as a series of project reports. I turned off the field, smiling to Steelhooves. "Welcome back." Velvet Remedy gave him a big hug that I knew he couldn't feel, but somehow made him look very uncomfortable anyway.
"I've collected some more medicine for your dispensary,"
she chimed, and immediately he looked less uncomfortable. I chuckled and directed my attention to the terminal screen, perusing the reports. starting with those which have been subdivided into a category called ghosts. Report 347. Mosaic, or was it Gestalt, passed down a new project.
Ooh! Project Gestalt! Is Yoko Taro? K-Cat, are you Yoko Taro? Are you Yoko Taro? Where are the mandroids at?
Apparently, after over 3 years of pure failure from the mares up in spellcrafting, the Ministry of Mare has given up on the Ministry's effort to reverse engineer zebra invisibility magic into spell form. Given our success with the stealth buck, she's passed the project on to us, requesting that we design a sustainable magic device capable of indefinite invisibility, our own version of the zebra stealth cloak. This new project comes right on top of losing a member of the alpha herd, although from what I understand, that may make things easier on us. Officially, all I know is that Beaker has been suspended without pay. Unofficially, word had leaked down that Beaker is under investigation for accepting contributions from some pony within the Ministry of Technology in exchange for hampering development of magical energy weapons. Sounds to me like there's a pony or two in the building next door who's more concerned with Ironshod Firearms' market dominance than what's good for all the ponies of Equestria. Report 397. Another day, another pointless daily report that no pony ever reads. The shipment of drugs finally arrived from the Ministry of Morale, 3 weeks late and accompanied by 2 of their pink suitcase ponies.
Man, these ministries were fucked. Like, how old are they? The war will last for 21 years, right? And for half of it, the main 6 weren't even involved. So, like, in only 10 years, the founders are still around. In only 21, in only like 10 years at most, they've already been infiltrated by business. Like, I understand business, 10 years is actually a lot, assuming it's been 10 years. It could be like 7 or even 5. But like, assuming 10 years, and it is it is enough time for that sort of stuff, but to do it to the war effort, to like stuff like that, man, like, oh man, Equestria was fucked, even if it won.
Who insisted on monitoring how the restricted drugs were used. Now I hear there were some hard words between one of the Magic Twins and the morale officials. You'd think after all the work we put into talismans for their ridiculous balloons, they'd be a bit more cooperative. End result? Even though the shipment is actually in the building, we're gonna have to wait at least 3 days while administration pushes through the paperwork before the drugs will be cleared and we can finally start the next round of tests on our prototype Steel Ranger medical dispenser. Continued efforts on improving the design and duration of Stealth Bucks seem to have hit a wall. The MG Stealth Buck 2 is the most advanced design we've managed, taking advantage of the same recharging magical properties we've introduced into some of the newer lines of magical energy weapons, and possessing 4 times the duration of our original design. However, recharging takes hours, and the duration still falls far short of our goal marks. Gestalt, or was it Mosaic, visited Alpha today to review our progress. After explaining our difficulties, she suggested we pursue a new avenue of experimentation, a stealth suit which takes advantage of multiple stealth buck arrays. While one stealth buck is providing invisibility, the others can be recharging. I passed her idea on to the rest of the Alpha.
No, wait, Big Mountain was after this, right?
This looks promising. Report 444. Today was a good day to be in Alpha Labs. Or, more precisely, to not be 2 floors above. Somehow the mayor of the Ministry of Peace got wind of the sort of megaspell ritual chambers the ponies in spellcrafting have been designing. For such a soft-spoken and pleasant old girl, she's apparently a right terror when she gets angry. And there aren't even enough bits in the royal treasury to make it worth facing an angry ministry mare. After spending a month calibrating the new array, the Ghost Mare suit is ready for the first live test. As well as the turret tests, I brought in Wonder into the office today. I figure if the Ghost Mare suit can get by my cat, we've got a winner. Twinkle and Daybreak have been particularly snippy with each other again today for no apparent reason. I suspect those 2 bucks are having an affair. If so, I hope they keep it quiet. Personally, I think they'd make a cute couple. But we have fraternization rules for a reason. And the last thing I want is to lose one of them because the Magic Twins decide to put them on different levels. Report 445. Wonder was a big hit in the office. Every member of Alpha Herd gathered around and utterly spoiled her with attention. A few were even insisting that I can bring her back again. Now I'll run it past the Magic Twins. Maybe I can spin having a lab cat as being good for morale. Sadly, the Ghost Mare suit was not as impressive. Not only did the suit fail to pass the Wonder test, but we discovered that the array was draining power from all the stealth bucks while just one of them was running. The latter is a technical design problem, I'm sure of it. The former is more worrying. We ran 3 members of the herd through the test gauntlet with just stealth bucks alone, and Wonder didn't catch any of them. Something in the suit, or maybe something in the array, is weakening the visibility spell somehow. Fortunately, we have time to try to fix this before the next review. No pony's paying attention to us down here with the big mess upstairs. Apparently Fluttershy went to Twilight Sparkle, and now the Magic Twins are cleaning house. I don't get the politics involved here, but I do get that 24 unicorns have been fired already, and this is just the first day. Another dozen have actually quit, taking up an offer from the Ministry of Peace. I've even heard rumors that they might be planning to dismantle some of the chambers, or redesign them for purely defensive spells like the Ministry of Peace is demanding. But I don't put any stock in that gossip. Equestria isn't going to disarm itself in the middle of a war, especially not after the zebras successfully tested a mega spell of their own last week. Report 489. Thanks to Wonder, we've finally gotten insight onto one of the issues plaguing the Ghost Mare suit project. Apparently, the magic of zebra stealth cloaks is also designed to mitigate sound and smell. During the development of stealth bucks, we had noticed the difference in muffling effect from zebra's artifacts and our own devices. We had written this off as an acceptable loss, particularly since the cloak's original sound dampening effect was a relatively minor effect to begin with. We had not, however, noticed the olfactory effect. This was apparently of greater concern to the zebras, possibly on account of the plethora of dangerous wildlife rumored to exist in their homeland. Further proof that zebras are innately crazy. Could you imagine living in Equestria if it was full of roaming monsters?
It is.
While the original Stealth Buck still retains at least a fraction of this effect, the MG Stealth Buck 2 does not. Or, more precisely, does not after its first use. For reasons still a mystery to us, the element of the spell refuses to function after the Stealth Buck 2 recharges. Twinkle let something slip today about he and Daybreak getting a cat. I made a seemingly off-hoofed comment about cats having a tendency to reveal things that should be kept secret. I hope he got the hint. Report 512. The Ghost Mare suit project has suffered another setback today. I'm amazed at how something so simple in concept can be so resistant to proper execution. I spent all last month solving the mutual depletion problem only to find that the new array can't pass the stress test. The Ghost Mare suit isn't worth anything if it can't sustain invisibility after a 1-yard fall. A few of the other researchers here in the Alpha Herd have begun referring to this as Project Frustration. Unfortunately, with other projects beginning to pile up, I'm going to have to take most of my ponies off this one, down prioritizing it until things look a little more promising for us. Fortunately, Gestalt and Mosaic are out of Canterlot today, having an on-site meeting with Twilight Sparkle at the new facility out in Splendid Valley.
Woo!
Honestly, I breathe a little easier when they aren't around. I personally find the Magic Twins a little creepy, particularly the way they finish each other's sentences. Doesn't any pony else get the shivers when they do that? It's as if Mosaic and Gestalt always know exactly what the other sister is thinking. Like they're not so much twins as one mare stuck in 2 bodies. Okay, no more reading.
Oh shit! Oh, that's oh, man, Trixie really got lucky with having all 3 of those guys there, wasn't she? Cause they know everything they didn't know, and that they had like either they were the same pony that somehow split, or they had some kind of telepathy spell going on between them. And that's how okay, I know the secrets. I figured it out.
Here's on my break time. Report 550. Twilight Sparkle paid a surprise visit to the Alpha Lab today.
Oh,
to my dismay, she asked for an update on the Ghost Mare suit project. She'd apparently hoped we were much further along, and had wanted to bring in Rarity, the mayor of the Ministry of Image. What the hell? For a consultation on the suit's aesthetic design. Seriously, the suit's supposed to be invisible. Who the hell cares what it looks like?
Twilight Sparkle asked me to put up with the nuisance anyway and give Rarity our full attention and respect. Afterwards, Daybreak suggested Twilight Sparkle was looking for a way to cheer up her friend, saying something afterwards about Rarity having been a dressmaker. Honestly, I have no idea how dumping more work on some pony in that position, particularly if it's pointless work, could possibly cheer a pony up. On the other hoof, the idea that one of the ministry mares might be suffering wartime stress disorder is terrifying, so I told Daybreak to keep that opinion carefully under wraps. While Twilight Sparkle was disappointed with our progress on that particular project, at least she was understanding, and she was considerably more pleased with our other projects, such as the multi-gem heavy infantry battle saddle. Alpha Labs has continued to show a great deal of success in other projects, so I don't think we'll face any repercussions. She did, however, ask if there was any pony I believed we could spare to join the spellcrafting lab above us. Apparently they're researching something called a bypass spell, and have reached the point where they need a fresh mind. I told her I'd get back to her on that. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a talk with Daybreak and Twinkle. I would prefer to keep both of them, as they're excellent members of the herd. But if I'm going to end up losing one of them, I would rather it be done this way.
I stopped skimming the reports. There were dozens more in Ghost alone, and half a dozen other categories. Getting up, I looked around at the lab, opening locked storage containers and equipment lockers. Oh, Calamity would be sorry he was missing out on this. There were tools in here I couldn't even guess the purpose of.
Oh boy, better take them
I checked
all.
to make sure Velvet was still busy with Steelhooves, reasoning that it wasn't sightseeing if I had to wait anyway. Then levitated a duffel bag out from under one of the tables. Pulling it open and dumping out the empty cat carrier inside, I started scooping random tools and equipment into a duffel bag.
Ready to go, Little Pip?
Velvet called out. Yeah, just 1 minute, I called back, cutting my scavenging short.
No!
But there was still one storage container I wanted to raid before we descended into the basement. The one where I had spotted the prototype Ghostmare suit.
Tell her no, you're not
Or
ready to go.
at
You
least
gotta
parts of
steal
it.
all this shit.
The project had clearly never been completed, and was abandoned in the middle of a complete overhaul. Now, digging back through the container, I found something that was worth taking. One MG Stealth Buck 2. With a grunt, Steelhooves forced open the elevator doors, and the three of us looked down the dark shaft. Midway down, a field of blue energy cut horizontally across the shaft, blocking our way down. I sighed, unsurprised. We tried to find the stairwell to the basement already, only to find a thick metal door had slid into place, cutting off access. The entire basement was locked down tight. The only way in was to be teleported there by the Ministry's building security, and I had yet to find a way out.
Look at those cables.
Velvet whispered.
They go right down through the shield.
I nodded. I'd figured the shield had been closed around them, although it was a little surprising they hadn't been severed. What are you thinking?
Bypass spell.
She responded. For the cables?
For the whole elevator.
She suggested.
I know it's a long shot, but...
Steelhose nickered disbelievingly. You think they put a security barrier in the elevator shaft that the elevator could get through?
Yes.
I bit my lower lip in thought. Actually, that's not as silly as it sounds. The elevator would be programmed to move to the bottom when the basement was locked down, but they wouldn't want to try to trap any ponies, so they set the barrier to allow the elevator through. That way the barrier can activate instantly while the elevator has time to deposit any passengers on the floors above. I was talking out my tail side, but it made at least some sense. Once the elevator reaches the bottom, the power is cut in the whole system, and the elevator is locked up into position. So what good does that do us? Steelhooves asked. Velvet almost purred.
They weren't planning on Little Pip, now were they?
I knew what she was getting at. Levitate the elevator up to us.
God
head
damn
on,
it.
And down we go. Only one problem. I need schematics of the elevator's mechanical system, I told them. Velvet looked at me oddly.
Why? What for?
The locking mechanism is at the bottom where I can't see it. She continued to look at me blankly. I sighed.
Really?
Look, I need to know what I'm doing before I can do it.
I looked at them both. Of course they didn't understand. Steelhose had no clue about magic at all, and Velvet Remedy's levitation magic was comparatively foolish.
It's the same reason I can telekinetically fire a gun or pull the power supply from a turret, even if I can't see it. But I can't just use my magic to squeeze some pony's heart or build a rifle while blindfolded. If I can't see what I'm doing, I need to at least be able to picture it in my mind with a fair amount of accuracy, or the magic won't manifest. I explained, hoping
I talked about that several chapters ago. Like, why don't you just telekinetically squeeze their fucking heart or something, you little... Or create a... Oh, man, create a bubble in their brain. Oh, that would be... Oh. Oh. Anyways, that... Lil Pip, there's an easy solution for that. That you've just revealed. If you just need a schematic to do the lock, can't you just get a medical diagram picture for a pony's body and then just start killing people with mind bullets?